All right, everybody. Here we are. We're live with fucking the children of Finland fighting in Norway. C.O.F.F.I.N, and we are good to go. I actually came into this. I said to my wife, "I'll be home about 8:30, and I won't drink either."
I said the same.
I won't drink, and it was nothing to do with.
But it's Armageddon, so it's okay.
Yeah,
we get away with it.
Exactly.
We're rolling. All right.
We've been rolling for the last fucking
they're
few
up and
minutes.
rolling. We had to.
I was promised punch and pie.
Punch and pie.
Jake, may we take a bit more of that Jameson, please?
Yes, you
Take
may.
as much as you need,
Mate,
son.
what we love at this place is
Have the whole thing.
Is the
This is what life is
endless
like.
hospitality. Is that enough for you, Arthur?
Currently it is. But let's actually just give a fucking mad shout out to Jameson and who's the company? Pernod Ricard.
Pernod Ricard.
Who've
Haven't quite yet, but they will.
by the time we actually release this, they will have just announced a little measure that they've for all hospitality staff,
unemployed
staff. They are giving $100,000 worth of free meals to Deliveroo. Through Deliveroo, yeah, fucking right, yeah. Pretty cool, huh? So we're drinking Jameson in solidarity with the support that they're giving to the hospitality community. But we're talking to music fucking community now.
I believe it's a whiskey of sorts.
An Irish blend.
It's a fucking blend.
Simplest.
Before Proper 12 got announced, it was Conor McGregor's favorite whiskey, I'm sure.
Did you know that the reason why Japanese whiskey's gotten so expensive?
No, but I hope this is a good non-racist story.
No, it's because Japan didn't realize how Nihongo didn't realize how good they were at making whiskey, so they made an amount, and the world were like, "Holy fuck!"
You can fuck all you want.
Drank it.
Holy shit! This shit's really good. So it went from being like a $50 bottle to like a $500 bottle because it takes 12 years to make.
See,
So
fucking right.
to get any more, they've got to wait another 12 years.
Yeah.
So
Whiskey is fucking like,
demand
that's the point. That's why people...
You're talking to fucking Scotland over here.
Fuck, not like I'm an expert, but with whiskey, like you can make gin in a fortnight or like 4 days. Whiskey takes, like legalities around
England.
whiskey.
Like
Rum takes like 3 years. Like whiskey takes
in there
minimum
as well.
8 or something. Like whiskey, you got to be minimum 8 years or something to be aged to be like legally assured as a whiskey. So therefore, it's a big. We talk about it in the terms of like beef farming and chicken farming. Like you can grow a chicken in 4 weeks. The chickens you buy in Woolworths, they're like 4 weeks old before they get killed. But any sort of cow is like 3 years old. So it's like the investment. It's the like for like.
It's way easier to steal a chicken than it is to steal a cow.
Chicken distillates.
We've had all these ideas. No one's into them.
I still
Anyway,
can't
we
figure out
appreciate
where
the
my
free
moral
whiskey.
compass is on
Free beer.
stealing
Yeah.
chickens that.
Well, it's
have
not
been-
free.
have
But
been-
It's not free.
It's not free. And
abducted. I don't know.
I tell you why the whiskey and the beer is not free, because your fucking time is valuable, and we really appreciate you being here. And maybe we should just cycle back onto why your band, your incredible band, is here as the first kind of highlight in the empty room sessions.
Thanks for having us.
Beyond our pleasure.
Heaps of fun.
As
But
we
it's
said,
because
quite a little-
how long ago was it?
Well, I touched earlier.
7 days ago.
7 days? No, not even.
10?
I don't think. But like, so C.O.F.F.I.N were the first band to reach out to us over messaging, just to say that Lansdowne have always been good by them, and anything they could fucking do to help.
And it was a private message. Yeah, it was straight to us. It was not like.
Yeah, it wasn't a public call out by any means. It was just a very private thing, just to say like, what can we do? And it was spurring us. It's inspired us to sort of think, what can we do? And we were having all these ideas like, we'll do the 100 Club, like, because you only have, at that point you could still have 100 people in a venue. And then
the 100
2
Club
days later
will arrive when we're allowed to have
probably
100
good.
people in the venue.
And then it was obviously 0 people in the venue, which, well, with the 1 in 4 square meters is
Very
basically 0.
exclusive.
Yeah, fuck man. And it's and that's what inspired like the idea just to like do like when art fucking does something in the face of adversity, like it's, you know, commercialism has been removed, money's fucking gone, and guess what? Like, you know, 10 people
Fucking
here,
end
because
of the
that's the
world
fucking
party.
rules right now, have turned up to fucking support each other and do something fun in the face of adversity, and like making positivity out of negativity, like Ben said on stage today. Like, this is why we're here. And so I suppose we want to talk about why we're here, but also like what what was your band doing right now? What should you be doing right now? You've given up a tour. You've lost a tour.
Yeah, we're meant
fucking
to
crying.
Nah, well,
That's what you are doing. It's not what you're doing, actually.
We've
You're
been-
fucking amazing. You just ripped the stage apart.
we've been playing together since we were,
Just
You know,
means we have more
pre-
money
12
when we
years old,
get
some
there
of
over
us.
later and can
Yeah.
have a fuckload more
and
fun.
we haven't had, necessarily the best luck over the years, but we've, I think, become stronger from having to face, adversity or, problems. And, shit times for everyone. It's fuck, like we lost the American tour with Amel and the Sniffers. We didn't lose it. Hopefully, it's been postponed.
Yeah.
But, a lot of bands, this shit happened to mid-tour.
Yeah.
And venues in Sydney, it finally felt like, with your guys' efforts and a bunch of other venues and
Yeah.
And let's
really
give them a
good.
shout out. Like Oxford Arts Factory's never fucking gone. Like Crowbar fucking redid it. Vanguard. Like,
Lady Hampshire.
yes.
Lots, and there's a bunch of places that have fallen by the wayside in the process of bringing it up. But it is now a situation where every week, regardless of if there's bands playing you can go out and experience a really good night of live music, of good entertainment, not even just music, acting, theatre, dance, and then the people it brings is a really great experience where previously it was like, okay, how many beers can I go drink before one
we
of my
see a
mates
snow
fucking
leopard?
ends up seeing a snow leopard and then playing the pokies the whole night, which was shit. It was really,
It's true,
it was,
man.
it was
You just
terrifying,
keep
and it
chasing
killed.
that snow leopard. It keeps going, wow.
And
Never comes.
I guess the upshot of what this might all bring,
Meta.
which is what kind of keeps us sane, is that interesting stuff and sideways thinking type shit is going to happen because it's, like tonight, it's like, all right, we played to you guys, which is great.
Yeah.
But, it's...
We
played
cheered
here-
hard.
We played here a few weeks ago to a sold-out crowd.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah.
right, you did.
But
Another fucking Bushfire gig.
everyone is going to have to get more creative and also looser with what's allowed to happen.
Yeah.
And it's, I feel like it's going to become more and more
Do you-
positive.
Do you think that so one of the things that I've been thinking about, and Jake and I have spoken a lot about it, like Sydney was like lockouts disappearing and all that shit. Like we were limping towards like a better culture, a better sort of situation about live music, but we were steadily limping. And if is this like a complete fucking like heart attack restart that maybe in 12 months from now we'll be in a much healthier place than we would have been? Because when you remove the whole fucking thing from everyone, no one's going to be able to go out probably soon for like 2, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever the fuck it is. So when you're allowed out again, it's like they're fucking running, they're beating down their
Renegade.
doors. Yeah, they're fucking beating down their doors to come and see shows. Whereas like when it was just opening up, they were like, oh yeah, so it's going to be there. I'll take part when I feel like it. But now they're like, no, that everything that all these little pockets of fun that they enjoyed have been removed. And therefore, and they know, and it's in the papers all as like every day now about the financial difficulties, and some of them won't be around when they come back out. So like, do you think it's going to make a difference in terms of like beating that drum to make people fucking come back?
I wonder how much more hammering the gatekeepers are going to need before they fucking release. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we've just gone through this devastation environmentally with fires and floods. It's like you get a bunch of people on board who go like, okay, maybe this is an issue. Then you get this thing happening and you hope, okay, in the aftermath, everyone's got to join together and support things like connecting, like live gigs, like performance, like just hanging out, like people who just want to fucking get dressed up on a Friday night to show themselves off. That's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully that becomes even more enhanced and supported. And you would hope it would, and you'd hope that people would get the fucking clue that this is important to us and this is a real feeling that we have and this is real emotion. And I think that will happen. The only worry I have is that places that have been doing a really good job for a long time might not survive it. And that's going to be
That
shit.
sucks.
And that's shit. And that fucking upsets me, upsets all of us. But,
Yeah.
you
The
know,
music industry has
needs to hold in
been the music industry has been very unforgiving like it's hard being in the music industry. Hopefully, from the ashes, parties and fun will rise like a phoenix.
Yeah, man.
Bit of an Armageddon.
I tell you, from the restaurant perspective, I was thinking about this the other day. People were fucking concerned about cuisine. Concerned about their ego and they're concerned about their role in the fucking greater cuisine.
That's what I hope.
As opposed to fucking just cooking for people.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like when a musician gets concerned, or any artist is concerned with their place within the musical world, as opposed to playing for the people who are standing opposite them, then we've lost something. We've lost something like integral to the actual makeup of what it is to be a performer, or what it is to be a fucking cook, or what it is to be an artist. If we're literally sitting here concerned about the way we're thought about on a fucking wider scale, that's a fucking problem. Fucking, yeah.
That's what hand sanitizer
No, it's
is,
40%. You got to get 60%, motherfucker.
No, but I mean,
Ray and nephew.
like
Bit better than nothing, innit?
that's-
Bit better than nothing.
that's what we're
Coming
hoping
out
for.
from the back, and then a bit of bacteria. Says it's about 40%. Oh, the guy's fuck that. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here right now. 60%, 20% more, and I'm fucked.
That's what I've always. That's what I've always said. Like every little interview or whatever we have managed to have, I've always come back to the best thing about our band and what I would hope would be for a lot of bands is the fact that regardless of who the fuck's standing in front of you, you're having the best time you can have with the people who are with you. You know,
What if
the
it's
band,
Big
You
Bird?
want to have, if there's two people, if there's no people in front of you, you want to be having a good time on stage. And if you continue that trajectory, you're going to end up with something positive. And that's
What
what,
if it's
we've done.
Big Bird with a big old heart on?
And that's
you don't
what-
want that in front of you in,
Well,
in your
Big Bird
audience.
with a big on hard on could be what some people like. But hopefully we see Big Bird performing with a big old hard on.
Yeah, but
But-
not,
No, no.
that's a bit inappropriate for for
but
most
serious-
crowds, unless it's like a weird furry
Well, hopefully-
situation.
Hopefully most crowds will become more accepting of more kind of esoteric shit. But what I'm hoping for is like
Is
you're
more
saying,
Big Bird.
Like Jake, like you're saying, with people with this shit, like of worrying about the cuisine and this kind of
Bananarama.
superficial shit. Hopefully that after a couple of weeks will start to fall by the wayside, and people will go like, what actually makes me feel good? What is important to me on a weekend? Or we all have to slog out these shit jobs for this many hours of a week, or not all of us, but many of us do, and a lot of that is acceptable because of the fact that at the end of the week or whenever it happens in the week, we can go have this full-on emotional interactive experience where we actually feel something.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that will become very prevalent in people's minds.
If we
fucking
don't
words,
fight
man.
for what little we, for what shitty circumstances we have with going out and all this laws changing all the time, if we don't fight for these laws and good laws, we would be, or they'd already be worse. The more, I hate it when people complain about people complaining. If people didn't complain, you'd be living in fucking dystopian future. We already live in a dystopian future compared to other pasts, but if you want to live in a better future than now, then you got to fucking complain.
Yeah, you got to fight. You got to actually, you know what? You don't even have to fight. I tell you right now what you don't have to do. You actually don't even have to fight. You just have to do things.
Yeah, you got to
You
breathe.
just have to fucking wake up, pick up a fucking set of drumsticks or a fucking guitar and write music. Or in our case, you got to wake up and you got to fucking open venues.
And that is the other thing. It's that, but it's also surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded in that aspect. It's like, okay, right, sweet.
What are the
We
modern
picked up-
mathematics?
We got the instruments, we got the band. That ain't shit necessarily, like, in beyond our jam space, unless we got people like you who are gonna go, hell yeah, you can come. Like where we grew up, Northern Beaches, there's not a venue there we can play.
yeah.
And it's bullshit. It's not because of the fact that anything fucking particularly horrible has happened. It is just
Pokey stick the rooms.
the aesthetic kind of like freak out that people have towards it makes it unavailable for us in that area. So we come here and we go, we have relationship with you guys, and you guys help us out, and it just creates a really free environment for everyone to just be themselves, be a bit weird. No one is proven, themselves by fucking slinging around ego or swinging dick.
Let's get more renegade gigs.
It is just about everyone kind of,
Mate, we're
getting together and having a good night.
We're in so hard, like it's so good to be face to face. So this whole situation for me, what it's done is remove move finance from the relationship, from us all dealing together with each other. Like us and the rad dudes are going to produce all this shit tonight. Like, because we always try to like do fucking fun things. Like, do you want to come play a free show? And then a fucking manager gets involved, a promoter gets involved, or a record label gets involved, and it's all like, well, you're gonna have to pay them like $4,000. Like, I guarantee the messages don't go to the band, or they don't come back to us directly. It's like we just got to talk.
World party, motherfucker.
Fuck,
enjoy.
Man, if we just got to talk directly, we do this shit occasionally, like do free fucking shows where everyone just came together and did it. But it was such a commercially driven little monster there for a while. And that's kind of the coolest thing about it. It's just ripped it out. And like people who see that when we work together for fucking nothing, then that's like what the great can come from it. Maybe. So fuck the promoter, fuck the record labels, fuck that. Like, we know that the big picture that we all need this, like, maybe we do, maybe we don't, that structure around that. But it's like, when you remove those levels, it's becomes fun as fuck.
Well, maybe that's what the reset will be.
Without the pyramid,
how about we bring in some other members of Coffin? Should we tag out?
Without the pyramid, you have a big dance floor.
Yeah.
At the top of a pyramid, only one person can dance by themselves.
I think that's the two people.
The bottom of the pyramid is the important part, but let's tap out.
We're going
to tag out. Two more?
Two more members of Coffin.
This is an exciting little change. Hey, boys, thank you so much for your time.
Everyone keep their distance. Put the headphones down.
This is I've been Arthur Flanders.
Meeting.
And I'd just like to say,
just bring more. Make sure you bring your glasses and beers.
Keep on at it and keep going, doing what you're doing.
Hey,
unless you're being a dick,
there's beers.
You can go
beers in
trip
the
down
fridge,
some stairs.
Behind there.
Thank you so much, lads.
Grab a couple more beers for
Jake,
boys.
Kenny, much love.
Love you,
Ben. Thank you so much.
No, I fucking love you so much.
Thanks for your sweat.
That was one of the fucking.
Hand over to Abijah and Aaron Schmoss.
Here we are.
You guys are not giving me enough
Aaron and Abijah
to escape this interview.
Is that Abijah or Elijah?
Abijah.
Abijah, sorry, my mistake. And Aaron. Come on, boys, take a seat. Thank you so much for being with us again. We do need to. We won't reintroduce you, but thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Yes.
If off camera is Aaron. Arthur just staunching everyone.
Jake, because we're selling headphones.
Can you get some of the non-mid strengths? Sorry. They need a beer. They need a real beer. Just New Towners or whatever's not in there. Oh, there's nothing left in the bucket. We drank it all. Just two glasses.
One of them.
2 glasses. They're stayers though. They're not.
There's one.
Someone left one.
Whoa.
We're good.
Boys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
And we're sorry I have to do this in 2 parts, but we are being respectful of social distancing.
No.
Physical distancing. Let's all fucking set fire to that whole social distancing thing, because why we're actually here is to fucking create community and bring society a little closer together in the face of unprecedented. I love that term so much.
What?
I hate it. So unprecedented. If I hear Scott Morrison say, these are unprecedented times. Yeah, fuck you, you fucking cunt. 10 days ago, you were saying, let's all go to the fucking NRL. Let's go see the fucking Sharkies. Let's go see the fucking Sharkies play, you asshole. And I want to go to my last footy match of the year.
Still keeping the schools open.
What a cunt.
Still keeping the schools and the daycare's open, which is rinsing young families. I'll tell you, the daycare thing is, you guys probably don't give a fuck, but they're rinsing the fucking young families because they'll only stop accepting payment if it gets shut down. But they got told to not send your kids there, so we don't send your kids there anymore. And we have to keep paying them money.
Mad shout out to Sunshine Kids, where my son Spike went to. up until a week and a half ago, and I sent them an email saying, "Hey, Spike's not going to be there anymore, and we'd appreciate stoppage of payment." Blah blah blah, and they went,
"Hell yeah,
we normally
would not do that
for a month." Blah blah blah, and they went, "Actually, because he hasn't been here for X amount of days previous, we're going to back pay you too, and we'll stop it immediately." So mad shout out to anyone who's behaving, anyone in any industry who's behaving like that, because right now that shit is
all contracts
exactly
out the
what
fucking
the world
window.
needs.
All right,
We're resetting.
That's the father rant out the way. But
Okay, boys, thank you so much for being with us. Can I just ask a question?
Of course.
Why the fuck are you here?
So, like about a week ago now, as soon as this shit started kicking in and all these laws were being put into place and like venues being shut down and like gigs being cancelled and all this stuff, we were like, well, I was at work and I was just like, fuck, well.
Where were you working? Because you said you've lost your job now. Where were you working?
I do stonemasonry during the day.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I saw a post from you guys saying that you're like restricting business and stuff like that. And then I was just like, well, fuck, I got to hit you guys up because you've always been great to us. So I was just like,
that's what that kickstarted this whole.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
why
much.
we're here.
I just sent you a message saying if there's anything that we can do to help you guys, because you've always been there to help us. Like, we're grateful for everything you've done for us. So we just want to give back whatever we can.
Thank you. That's
So-
why we're here.
You know, I tell you that sentiment when we read that, it did two things. Number one, it's created this moment, which will be an ongoing moment as long as we can, and when we come out of a hopeful isolation the next kind of 6 to whatever weeks, and we're not allowed to reopen this motherfucking thing for another 3 months, as soon as we're able to, there will be bands on this stage playing the same way you did tonight. So first of all, that's number one. Number two, just the acknowledgement of the fact that there's a world outside of yourself is something that we kind of got the little wake up call with. Was just like, we were so concerned with not just our personal world, but we were so inundated with the fact we had to leave 200 motherfuckers who bled for us. Like, and then there was just this chirp of not just positivity, but appreciation for what all of those people who work for us stand for. And it just really set something alight in us to go, right, something needs to happen now. So ongoing, every episode of this that we record, this is on your guys' back. And I just wanted to say, I want to say thank you so much, because we were kind of just lost in our own heads for a bit there, and you guys woke us the fuck up. So thank you for being here. It's number one.
Those like few steps to get to here, and obviously this has been a devastating week for a lot of people. And when you guys started playing the first step for Henry, fucked it up. We had to be like 2 steps. Sorry, Henry.
The inside scoop is that Henry fucking forgot to push record on the first take.
But as soon as you started
He's the
playing,
man who didn't hit record.
Is that what happened?
He's playing and just hit delete.
Cable.
And he's like, oh.
a cable failed. Apparently a cable failed.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, I went to behind the
Imagine
bar.
breaking
to get
a
whiskey.
cable.
Shut the fuck up. We can laugh more of that later. I was about to say something so poignant, and now it looks like I'm a fucking asshole. It's like I went by the bar to make myself a whiskey. Pour myself a whiskey over some fucking frozen ice, and
Frozen water.
Like we have done much of this week, and probably many people when the reality has been entirely removed. Like, we have shed tears at like fucking 9 in the morning, 11 in the morning, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. picking up kids, and fucking 3 a.m. hammered with friends. Like, we've cried a lot this week, and I shed 3 tears, probably more, when I went to pour a whiskey, because this whole, like, from that, it was like the start to finish. It was like, you know, a redux of a shitty situation. So that message led to us to be like, what can we fucking do? And then hearing you start to play was like, what a movement, what an energy. Like, how fucking good is that? And this is about, we want to say this, like, I'm sure we'll get comments in the fact that, bringing people together is not appropriate this time. But like we're abiding by the rules. There's no more than 10 people in here. We haven't fucking shook hands once. We haven't hugged once. We've got sanitizer everywhere.
Can you try to suck everyone's dick though?
Oh fuck no! Well, no, I did a photograph. It was kind of funny. Like we're following the fucking rules.
Exactly.
And I don't want anyone to negatively taint what is happening here, which is art in its true world, like just inspiring people with a positive energy. Like there's no commercialism around this. This is no fuck around. This is like bands who are comfortable to come and play here for like an hour or so or whatever. Like we play 3-4 songs and deal with us, and we got fucking sanitizer everywhere. We're disinfecting all this
shit. Is
shit.
there a question in this, Kenny?
No, I'm just fucking saying because I think it's important.
Yeah, no,
I think it's important because I think people will question like why we're bringing people together. Don't touch me, cunt. I think people will question why we're bringing people together,
No,
but
I
it's
think it's
within
good.
the fucking rules. And like,
I've been sanitizing after touching every bit of equipment, and like if I was going to be isolated with everyone, if we had to adhere by the rules, it'd be with these guys anyway. So
Exactly, which is why I don't feel any fear about touching him.
we
Touching
fucked
his
before,
beautifully
so-
toned body.
We fucked like 2 days ago, so we clearly don't care about each other's health.
If someone told us that we wouldn't be able to hang out with these guys for like 3 months, that'd be completely fucked.
You
So,
wouldn't
like,
listen
if
to
we're
it.
if we're gonna hunker down, we'd find a way to make it happen. Like my girlfriend works at a pub, and we were talking about the potential of maybe hiring out the pub for our isolation, just us, so that we can be together. Like,
Yeah,
swear to
going
God.
cheap right now,
I
mate.
swear to God, if I had more kids, I'd be living here. I'd just be like, keep those dirty little fuckers away from
be a
me.
good spot.
Just the whole regurgitated band in a bubble.
yeah.
Down inside a pub. see
Well,
what
we
happens.
asked the other boys earlier, like, what is it meant for you? And we talked more physically about what gigs you were going to be doing and stuff like that. Like, tell us, please bring the mood down if you want, but the question's not to elicit any sort of emotional response. So just, like, in the moment, what has happened in the last 2 weeks for you boys?
For bands, for your industry.
Well, I remember like 2 weeks ago, well, specifically for us, like having a beer like in Newtown, and I was talking to the dudes from the Sniffers, and we were talking like, oh fuck, your Europe tour looks like it's probably not gonna go ahead. Like it's really gnarly in Europe, but like all this time I'm just assuming like, oh yeah, but America's gonna be sweet though, because it's like Italy's really gnarly, but everywhere else is kind of sweet. And then 2 days later, I was just like, holy shit, it's like the fucking the world, and just like the amount of different shit that's gone on in the last 2 weeks is insane. Like,
What was it? Sorry.
Yeah, well, we've just finished up recording a new album as well, and we're like in the stages of trying to plan the tour for that as well, like in Australia and like overseas as well. And like it gets to the point where you don't know, like the uncertainty of it all is like, well, is it going to be 2 months? Is it going to be 4 months? Is it going to be 6 months? Like, can we start
When do you
putting
release
down
something?
dates and locking things in, or do we have to just kind of wait this all out? And
Has it shook you guys much emotionally outside of the, like, when I asked that question, I mean, like, has it shook your commitment to what you're doing at all, or are you guys, is it a double down situation?
I don't think it's shaken my commitment at all, but there's always going to be like another side of this tunnel. You're going to break through at some point, but that point is you don't know when. But
Has it made you think emotionally around relationships or friendships, or like in terms of like if you're obviously already not socializing heaps with your pals, whatever, like, so, and you've started to sort of realize what that means, and you question like who you spend your time with, I suppose, or like your
I don't know. I can still sit at home, drink beers, play Call of Duty, and
yeah.
chat
I
with
mean,
people online.
You obviously don't have children.
yeah. It's,
I don't know.
the last
Is Call of Duty a
is this
party
your
alive?
perfect world
At the moment,
because you're socially accepted.
yeah, I've kind of been a big old slob the past couple, like a week. It feels like it's been a couple of weeks, but it's only been about a week. But yeah, no, I've been at home, and this is the first time I've seen these guys since everything kind of fucking hit the
How
fan.
much has time slowed down?
Oh, totally.
How
Like
clean
fucking
is your
low
house?
down.
How clean is your house?
Yeah, I was cleaning the bathroom today.
I clean this fucking shit. I cancelled the cleaners in my house, right?
Rich bastard.
Yeah, rich bastard, busy fucking bastard. I was saying to Kenny
Oh, you
before.
didn't have the 8 cleaners though, Jake.
One of them just dancing. Why are you dancing cleanly? I cancelled them all, and they were meant to be there on Tuesday, right? And I was saying to Kenny before, there's nothing more frustrating than paying somebody to do a job that you know you can do better.
Well, that's it.
Which is mostly gonna most of our lives, to be completely fucking fair.
I can't do anything.
Yeah, but you can't clean. You don't know how to
I'm
clean.
not very good at
I'll
it.
come over to your house and I'll fucking show you how to
Fuck
clean.
yeah. Sounds good.
So this is the thing. So I spent 4 hours cleaning my house today, and it was so fucking cathartic. And at the same time, I was just, every time I did something better than my existing cleaners did, I was just hit with this moment of sadness, because I was like, you know what I should be doing right now? Something heaps different to this. I it's cleaners of the world fucking unite. I fucking love you. We employed you. The first people out of here in all of our venues were the cleaners. We said to our staff, you got to fucking clean the venue ourselves. Like, they're the first people to go. My heart goes out. But the reality is, whilst I find some sort of solace in doing the physical activity, the reality is it's an acknowledgement of the fact that fucking things have changed.
Yeah.
And the reason I had cleaners wasn't because, it was because we were busy. I was busy doing other things. I was doing things that were bigger than cleaning my house. And I know that might sound fucking strange, but we were running venues that supported musicians and artists, like multiple venues that do that, like that supported over 200 staff. And it's such a strange moment that we're in, where I'm there cleaning my own toilet bowl. I'm cleaning my toilet bowl,
You should clean your because you shit like a fucking.
No, but that's the thing that's going to come out of this time as well, is that all the creatives are going to have so much more time to invest in their
Do you want to get
arts.
But this is it.
It's on the.
Do you want to get exposed to
flip side of
this? Do you want to get exposed to this term? So we've got this. We've developed this term over the last little while. It's poverty breeds creativity.
Yeah.
And it's not poverty, just fucking straight money.
We live by it.
It's we fucking created it. It's a
fuck. I feel like I've heard it. Like,
you've never heard it. Google it. Everyone Google it right now.
This, but it's like we've spoken
I've Googled it.
and it's specific.
I'm talking.
I know. I'll say one thing because I don't talk as long as you do. But it's specific to cuisine. Because in my analogy of it, it's because poverty creates creativity. So like when people have no money for food, or when you look back at like French, Italian, fucking
steak, and
like,
I'm gonna.
So
like any cuisine in the world, any cuisine in the world has not been evolved in the last 100 years. They were all evolved well before we ever existed. And that's like who the fuck found out how to make mayonnaise? You know what I mean? Like all that shit. It's like so that kind of shit.
Did it in a boot with a bunch of canola oil and an egg once.
Stick.
Mayonnaise is like the epitome of poverty creating creativity. Because some cunt made mayonnaise out of wanking off a cow or something. But
You've never made mayonnaise.
I know, it's fucking eggs and oil. I know, but but the idea, that idea is and this is where I think it's come from before. Jake seems to think that we coined it, but this is not true.
I guarantee you, I coined that phrase.
It comes from a world of cuisine. Like people like
those
using
3 words:
offal,
poverty,
animal fats, and the vegetables around them to create beautiful food.
Just a little shout out here if you want some great offal. The Shack in Austin, Texas.
We were meant to be there.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
meant to be in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest.
That got
We were meant to be cooking there.
Are you going to?
No, not. But
we were.
We got a lot of mates. Well,
We
yeah,
were going to.
there.
Not South by Southwest. We were going to go to Texas.
Tour, but yeah.
Look, let's just double back on this. Let's just double back on this poverty breeds creativity thing, because for a moment, I think it's important, and forget about the fact that I think that we created those 3 words, put those 3 words together. The reality is, whoever said it, it's the fucking truth, and
But it's of course it was done before we've ever been alive because
Of
we're spoiled
course.
little shit. We're just like in a moment of realizing what it means. Of course, it is precursor anything any of our generations have done.
Oh,
Because no one would even give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just more talking about the claims to the TM of the fucking 3-word fucking slogan. But getting back to it, like, so the idea that poverty breeds creativity, having had so much removed.
Hopefully. You know, if you survive.
No, but this is the thing. Survival isn't. I don't think survival has a role in creativity. I think that there's something that's like kind of in essence of the essence of humanity. We create things in absence of. So as individuals, we see a problem and we see a necessity, and then we create.
Yeah.
And art, any creative industry, we see an issue of humanity, of connection, and art creates connection.
Yeah.
And that's what
totally.
music's done. Yeah. Like it's in the you look what
That's
came
why
out
we're
of
all here, like-
exactly. I mean, you look what came out of out of slavery. Blues music and jazz came out of slavery. The most abysmal of human conditions, the most disgusting blight on humanity that exists, and one of the most beautiful things that exists within humanity came out from the heart of it. Then it's just the truth.
Exactly. And without that, there'd be no rock and roll. And without no rock and roll, we wouldn't
Man,
fucking be here right now.
without police, racism and within structuralized racism, we wouldn't have hip hop. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this is my only point to make about it is, what do you think will come out the arse end of this?
I would hope that during this fucking like situation where like everyone's hard done by, venues like yourself are going to be supporting other venues and other artists. And just like off the top of my head, I know that there's like struggling venues in Melbourne, like the Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar, who's done heaps well by us.
Yep.
And I'm just hoping that places like that pull through the other side so that they can breed this fucking creativity.
Do you think that there's been a little bit of a shitty competition between venues across the country in Australia, like and across the world, that where they shouldn't be competing with each other, they should be supporting each other?
Little bit.
Do you mean no? Or
Yeah, I'm asking about now, like not in this moment,
not my
but
bag.
in the last 2 years.
I haven't noticed it personally, but
Yeah, it's not my bag.
Totally,
I don't know.
Everyone should be just kind of rallying together in
Yeah, for
solidarity
sure.
at the moment, because like
I think so.
it was not that long ago when we had that whole like the bushfire fucking like situation where it was all pretty much like the artists and everyone coming together to rally together and raise funds for that and to support communities and stuff. And then a couple months later we get this, and it's just like the artists are like
fucking getting kicked in the nuts 4 times.
thrown out on their asses and stuff. It's like, oh fuck, now the whole country has to come together and support one another.
Absolutely.
I think it's doing. I think-
venues, like
What Ben said,
businesses,
put egos
like,
aside.
Yeah, like everyone needs to like set all that shit aside.
What role does
come
ego
together.
play in your band?
God, nothing. I don't know. I don't know.
We speak our mind pretty well, and like we'll shut motherfuckers down pretty quickly. But like,
Nah, there's none of that shit.
if you like, there's no ego. Like, if someone's got a stupid idea or something, like you'll get told that it's a stupid idea, and
Because
you'll
you're
be like,
fucking
oh,
mates who trust each other. And
We're
you
a
just-
hive
we've known
mind.
each
and you
other
move through shit,
for
and it
like
doesn't matter who
over
does
like
what
10
or who
years.
says what. It's just
10
you just-
years?
We're a
How the
hive.
fu-
We're a hive
You
mind,
guys
and we
look
all
like-
get it.
You guys look like you're like 24 years old.
We've been playing
Oh,
together
as fuck.
since.
How old are you?
We've been playing together since I was 15. Ben and Artie were 13.
I'm new.
I'm like about to turn 30, so like
I've only been playing with him for like 2.5 years, but we've all been mates for
that's
the
like
same kind of
15
period.
years at least.
I'll tell you, boys. I know, like what we asked of you today which was huge. and you came, you did it, and you had to play 3 sets because let's go back and Henry fucked it up.
But Henry is a fucking mad cunt.
No, he's a mad cunt.
He always
And
makes
he-
us sound good. The
and
best,
he- and
the
he's
best
the one who walked
sound
to
is
this
always
stage.
from Henry.
And he walked to the stage to call it because he knew he wanted it to be perfect. And that is always going to be that's who he is.
Singing this song.
Yeah, okay. And anyway, we promised to not take up all of your night. Thank you so much for doing some of the
thank you,
incredible
guys.
show.
For
The
supporting the
footage.
community
Let's
and-
be very clear here. Like, so this is like Mary's Lansdowne, C.O.F.F.I.N, the band, and the Yerad lads who've like done all the production. We'll release it. We're gonna do this thing that we
And Henry who fucked
we're
it
gonna,
up.
We're gonna release.
I love you,
this
Henry.
Mary's TV thing that we were planning on having a bigger idea
Fuck
around,
it
but fuck it, we're just gonna run out of the fucking door because no one's got fuck all else to
Does
do.
Loz
right
want
now.
to say anything?
Yeah, where's Loz?
Hey, Loz.
Hey, Loz.
Get in, Loz.
Yeah, we want to do a one-on-one
Say-
interview
say
with you,
something.
Loz.
You can't be the one
We're
person
wrapping
who
it
didn't
up.
say something.
We're saying the gratitudes, and you've just done fuck all.
Don't fuck it up. So
Yes, he is. Where's the whiskey? Loz, where are you?
just let him say one thing.
Say one thing.
I want.
Say
I
one
know
Tell us how big
more
your
one
penis
thing.
is.
No, I want to hear a conversation from the guy. Put your fucking headphones on and just. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How
Do
you
we
doing?
are?
Here is now.
Yeah, we're good. We're
How weird podcast world when you hear people right in your ear,
Yeah.
and it sends you into like a strangely bit of a dimension.
Yeah, it's kind of wigging me out.
I like it because
As
you
the-
forget about everything else.
Yeah. I feel like it's some kind of like Joe Rogan thing going on here.
How does it feel being the one like bass player in a band full of fuckwits?
Guitarist.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
You're the guy that keeps it all together.
That's it. That's it. That's what I keep telling them.
Do you feel like that? Do you feel like you're the person keeping it all together?
Oh,
He's KIT. Keep it together. Keep it together.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is together.
Because I heard there's a vicious
sounded
rumor going
fucking
around.
amazing.
This empty room was that the reason we had to stop the first take is because you did 2 bad fucking notes.
I thought it was. I thought it was the sound.
And then a
guy
7 on the
fucked
next.
up. Yeah, no. Yeah,
so
that's the real
sorry.
reason.
That's not kind at all.
How do you
No,
how do you
fuck, Jake? That's not kind. We just invited this man into the room. Who
That's all right. I'm used
and
to
we're
it.
just like bagging on him.
I'm just about to ask
should
him
be
another
nice.
question. He's hit me.
I'm used to the abuse. You know, like
Are you?
ever
That's
since
fine.
I joined C.O.F.F.I.N, I just cop it. So it's all good.
So that was what I was going to ask. So when did you join C.O.F.F.I.N? Because I heard that a couple of the boys knew each other from real young. Then
So
they
here's
did-
the actual thing. The first gig we ever played, Loz organised that gig. It was at the Manly Youth Centre in 2005. I was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
2015. No,
Shut the fuck up, 2005.
2005.
No, your band's not been around since 2005. Really?
Yeah.
And
You guys are
Loz,
like 15.
I was 15. Ben and Artie were 13. We didn't even know we had the gig. Artie went up
Amazing.
and was talking to Loz and was like, "Yeah, I got this band." And like,
Yeah, we had the hard-ons playing at the youth centre, so we're just looking for local young
And when you
punk
say
bands.
we, who
the youth
did you
Manly-
work at the youth centre?
Not really. No, I joined
yeah,
the youth
yeah.
council just to try and get my band gigs, and then
And you
I
didn't
just
have a
ended
band
up
at that point?
Yeah, I did, but not a very good one.
What were they called? Just for prosperity.
Para.
Para.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
not a
That's a
good
great. No, actually,
No.
welcome to the ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the stage, Para. You know what? That passes a bunch of tests.
It crosses a few language barriers as well too.
but yeah, and
If
then
you're like, please welcome to the stage, Mortal Enemy.
Last chance.
You're like, no, shut the fuck
I was
up.
remember
There's
these things
never
like
gonna be a
school
good
bands, like
Para.
age of 14, 15 was like, welcome to the stage, last chance. They're like,
welcome to the
14
stage.
years old.
Welcome to the stage, children of Finland fighting in Norway.
I was going to ask. So Jay said it earlier. I was like, because I was unsure of like, so when I was, we were supposed to go to South by Southwest with Sounds Australia, and they asked us to put a playlist together, and I put like 2 or 3 songs of your band on it, obviously, because you've just been such fucking huge people that are part of our life at the Lansdowne. And I was like searching, it was like coffin, like capitals, coffin, like all the dots.
C
And I wasn't-
dot O
because a lot of like
dot
bands do
F dot
capitals
R.
now to be cool. And I was like,
No.
I was going to ask, and then Jake said, "Yeah, Children of Finland fighting in that." Like,
C dot
of
O dot.
course.
Yeah,
Of
so
course.
that stemmed from we would like at this there's a rehearsal space that was around back in the day, and we were at a party that they were throwing on one night, and they had a bunch of bands playing there. I think it was around Halloween, and they just finished the gig, and Artie went up. He's like, "Oh yeah, can we play?" And they're like, "No, you need to be in a band." We're listening to a lot of black metal at the time, and like, they're like, "Oh yeah," like Artie's like, "Oh yeah, we got a band." And they're like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Oh, Children of Finland." And then a couple of days later, we came up with the Fighting in Norway bit for some reason, and yeah,
Which makes
long
it
story
even more
short-
black metal.
Long story short,
Yeah.
don't make band names when you're like 13, 15.
Oh fuck!
Dude, don't make decisions when
tell
when
you-
you're drunk.
Yeah,
Which is
all
me and
that.
Jake.
The whole reason you're here.
We had, when Jakey and I were coming up the like when we were thinking about opening a bar together, and we kept having all these ideas of bar
don't
names.
think about anything.
Fuck, they were terrible. Like we would get hammered and be like, "Fucking excellent!" And then
We're
gonna
gonna call it the
"Oh, the worst
doghouse,
thing ever."
and we call it the doghouse because that's where you go when you just want to drink. And it's like,
And then we woke up. It's called Mary's because it's on 6 Mary Street. And we were just like, people would say, "Where's that place?" And we're like, "It's on Mary
Mary's.
Street." So let's just remove all the other bullshit and say Mary's on Mary Street. That's the only reason it's called
I
that.
went looking for that. The first time I ever went looking for Mary's, I was like, where the fuck is this place?
Yeah.
Like,
The good thing about Mary Street is very slow.
Very small. You must
But
be
I
running
still
up and down.
record, even now I still record people like wandering up and down the street. And I sent to my friends
phone
going,
out,
still don't understand. It's like, there's a what? It's like there's one building on that entire street. It's just graffiti
Yeah.
from top to
There's like
fucking
this
bottom.
Telstra building.
And people are like this.
Which one is
Oh, where's the delicious burgers? Why isn't there a burger sign out here? Hey, listen, we probably do need to let you fuckers go. Just
Thank you so
to
much.
double down and triple back on what we've already discussed. We just cannot say thank you enough for the energy that you guys put in to not just being here today, but
Every show you've ever played here.
here, and also the fact that you guys reached out just to give what this team's been putting together for the last 2.5 years, and that shout out has really inspired something in us that is going to affect a lot of other musicians and hopefully a lot of other future musicians and a lot of people sitting at home by themselves over the next couple of weeks and months. And you guys, this fully resides and rests in your hands. And
sounds like a big weight to bear, but
you know what? It's not a weight to
Heavy
bear.
as
It's
the
no, you know what it is? It's a fucking. It's just the
normality
absolute
now.
appropriate fucking love to give back to you guys because
Yeah, you
it
deserve
wouldn't be here without.
You know,
it.
you get what you give. You've given it, now you get it back. So hopefully,
long distance cheers to that.
Ah, fuck.
thank you so
And
much.
also, fuck Corona.
Which is apparently like I'm sure we should have known this already, but the whole like beer thing is it just means crown. So it's like the Crown Lager of Australia. like
What are you talking about?
it kind of makes me laugh.
We should rename
Corona
it the
means
Crown
corona
Lager
It's crown in
virus.
Spanish.
And why
That-
did the
because-
Spanish
because
get
the
to name
virus-
this fucking thing?
Because the virus looks like a crown on top of whatever, like that little like digital
I-
input that
I
everyone's ever
reject
seen.
the fact
It
that
looks
this
like a
is
crown.
What a Eurocentric
Crown
fucking
Lager
take.
virus. That's what we
Yeah,
should
Crown
rename
Lager
it.
virus.
Crown
Fuck,
Lager
they're getting what
virus.
they're getting what they deserve.
Also, mad shout out to Jameson and Young Henrys who don't know they're sponsoring us yet, but they fucking will be.
Give us some money. And
Ciao for now,
and everyone-
bitches!
And everyone has been a part of it. Yeah.
Cheers.